How's it going, pals? This is Ernest, and today we are doing a first impressions on the Crazy Viking Studios game, Volgarr The Viking. It's a 16-bit game, and it's really trying to be old school with a new touch to it, and I think it works really well. This is one of those games where it isn't for the faint of heart. It's actually hard. If you mess up, you must go all the way back. There's not any there's checkpoints, but not really. You must beat the whole level before you get a checkpoint. And if you actually quit the game, you have to actually go back and complete the first level again before you even can go back to the level you were on. So you must sit down and play this game all the way through. The whole game, if you want to beat it, or maybe just keep your Xbox on or something like that, but I wouldn't really recommend that. But however, the game controls actually really well. First, I'm just gonna say what it reminds me of. Straight off the bat, it reminds me of Castlevania, some old school Conan the Barbarian. Do y'all remember that game where you had the little zip line? Of course, he doesn't have a zip line in this game, but just the way the visuals remind me of that game. But as far as everything else, though, the controls actually work very well for the game. It can get a little tedious at times, and you get a little annoyed. Like, you think you're gonna hit right, but it hits left, and I don't know if that was just a problem with me, but it's more of a timing game than anything, and if you time it right every single time, you're going to hit it every time because the map doesn't change whatsoever. The enemies are going to jump at you the same exact way. But all in all, the game is actually really fun. I was really surprised with it, especially since it's a free game on Xbox One right now. I was like, you know what, I'll check it out. The last game I liked on that was Max the Brotherhood, or whatever it's called, and that was a really good game, and I was like, well, there isn't going to be a game that competes with this that's like indie for a while, so I thought I would try it out, and I was actually very pleasantly surprised with it. I haven't got too far yet. What you're seeing on the screen right now is like the first level, maybe second, depending on what part of the screen I put. I'm recording this after, of course. There's just a lot of cool little spaces that's hidden. If you don't jump right, you could get hit. You just need to time it perfectly right every single time, and you actually have it. If you get hit, you lose your power up, and it could end very bad. But the monsters are really cool. There's the green, I don't know what they are. Maybe they're some type of animal. I'm sure they are. Maybe a lizard. Either way, the green ones you can hit one time with the regular sword. And the, let's see, I think it's the red ones you can hit twice, and the blue ones you have to hit 3 times. No, I said that backwards. The blue ones you hit twice, and the red ones you hit 3 times. So, of course, as you level up your sword, or get power-ups for it, I don't know exactly what you would say, it doesn't take as many hits. So, that's actually good. Now, I know you've seen it on the screen by now. There's a bunch of plants that shoots out these little, I don't know what they are, acid type flyers. And they're actually very annoying. They don't look very hard, but if you don't time it just right to get in between the characters and the flyer pot things, oh, it could be so annoying. So, basically about the levels we need to speak about now. The levels are fan-freaking-tastic. There's only really one way to go. I did notice in the first level that there was a platform up on the left that I didn't even notice, and I finally went up there and noticed that. So, I mean, I guess there's places where you don't have to go, but it's actually kind of needed. So eventually you would need to find them. So we went over the enemies, which are very nice. I really like it. Even though you see the same ones over and over, it's one of those games where it actually works. It doesn't take away from the game that there's the same enemies over and over. Now, you do get more as the game goes on, and it gradually gets harder and harder and just ramps up the difficulty of them. And the little lizards, or whatever you want to call them, they just get annoying to the point where it reminds you of an old school game, because, I mean, let's face it, that's what used to happen. And you would be in an old school game, and the smallest enemies is the one that kills you the most. So then there's other enemies such as snakes, there's arrows, there's all kinds of different little things that are in the game that kind of brings it to life. And and makes you kind of captivated in the little side-scroller 2D world. And I was really fascinated with the game as soon as I turned it on, because I was one of those people that did like old school games like that. I do think that they tried something unique with the no save spot. I want to elaborate on that a little bit. If you get a checkpoint while you're playing the game, you can go back to that checkpoint or that level. But say I turn the game off and I go get something to eat and I turn the game back on and I'm on the 3rd level. Well, when I turn that game back on, it's going to send me all the way back to the 1st level. So if you want to beat the game, you're going to have to sit down in one sitting and actually beat it. And I'm not sure if I enjoy that or I don't. It has been making me want to go back and play it, because I'm like, oh, I got really close last time. I think I can get farther, you know. But once you get the timing down, really, you're pretty good to go. It's almost one of those games where you have to master it and actually, you know, become the best at it in a way. Like, you just can't get really lucky. You're going to have to time that crap perfectly, jumping over arrows while you're throwing a dagger, as you've seen in this video multiple times, and things like that. But one wrong mess up and you're dead, or you lose your power, and then in the end that kills you anyway. So one wrong move and you're pretty much dead. And I kind of like that about the game, because it makes you want to go back and be like, dude, I can do this, I can master this. It isn't like, oh, I'm just at the other checkpoint, I'm good. You know, you have to go back and try to redo it better. It makes you think, you know, I could do that better than, you know. And it would actually be a lot of fun with friends over. Now, it's not a 2-player game, but you could compete. There's actually a time limit bar that you could turn on, that like a speed run, and you know, things like that. It's very old school in that terms. So as far as the graphics, like I said, they're really nice for this type of thing. The animations are very fluid. Once I hit the button, it happened. But all in all, it's a really nice game. I would definitely recommend checking it out. There isn't much else to say about it. I mean, it's only a 2D scroller. There's not much of a story at all. It's just trying to get from point A to point B, which isn't as easy as it sounds. So guys, if you like old school games, or heck, if you even want to try one that maybe is a little bit of upgraded graphics and got some cool enemies in it, and a lot of thinking and on your toes type of game, then I would definitely recommend checking this out. So if you guys like this video, then hit that like button. Let me know in the comments if you're going to check it out. As always, you could be a pal, and subscribe. We'll be right back.